If you've seen the 2012 movie or any movie related to the destruction of the Earth, then you must know how our Earth could come to an end. Of course, in every movie, we humans try to stop that disaster, and maybe some people even survive at the end of the movie. Volcanoes, tsunamis, and disasters coming from space. Some of these claims are given on a scientific basis, while some are completely different, which can neither be verified nor predicted in advance. In today's modern era, we can't live in illusion. For entertainment, we can at least imagine Nibiru and Planet X. Today, we know that the events of asteroids colliding with Earth are only considered based on probabilities. So today, let's not think about probabilities and look at something that no one can stop from happening. And what will be the final fate of humanity and this Earth? Yes, this is not a prophecy. This is an inevitable event that cannot be avoided. Our history is not very old. Modern humans have only been on this earth for 300,000 to 400,000 years. But the great apes used to be here a few million years ago, and before them there were some species that evolved. Of course, here we realize that evolution is a very slow process, where we may not notice much on a single human time scale, but on a large time scale of millions of years, evolution is inevitable. The one who endured that pressure kept moving forward, and the one who couldn't endure it gave an opportunity for other species to advance. And during this time, some random genetic mutations also occurred in living beings. Some mutations help them adapt to the changing environment, while some diseases are caused by genetic mutations as well. And many times, these things turn out to be a blessing for us as well. But if we talk about millions of years into the future, of course we humans will still be here on Earth, but evolution will not have stopped. And there are more chances that they will be an advanced version of us humans. But even at that time, humans and that species will be facing the ultimate pressure of nature. Due to the changing climate of the planet and limited resources, extinction will keep happening, and eventually, for some reason or another, the end will come. How many people survive a disaster won't matter anymore. Humans will disappear from this world. On a geological and astronomical timescale, this will be the first step towards the end of our world for us, which will begin with our own extinction. Apart from this, the humans who will be living on other planets or who have migrated from Earth may never want to return to this planet, because what is going to happen next will be even more terrifying. By the way, for those humans who have left Earth and gone somewhere else, will evolution leave them alone there? This question is for you. Anyway, if we come back to Earth in today's time, it feels like good fortune that our planet, our Earth, is exactly the right size and mass where there can be an atmosphere. It's at just the right distance from the Sun. Our planet is formed by combining many such parameters in different combinations, where the flowing water on land becomes the source for life to flourish. And if there's even a slight change in any of these properties, all the equations equations of life here would completely change. The diversity and variety we see in life on Earth today would not exist at all. Billions of years ago, Earth was completely covered by oceans, and it took millions of years for land to appear. But during this time, not only did we evolve, the sun sitting at the center of our solar system is also a product of evolution, and it will be the first to take away the oceans from this Earth. Over the period of time, as the sun converts its internal hydrogen into helium through nuclear fusion, about 1 to 2 billion years from now, the energy released by the sun will reach a critical point. That energy will be so intense that as soon as it hits Earth's oceans, the oceans will start to boil. As soon as the oceans start to boil, Earth's atmosphere will fill with water vapor, resulting in a global greenhouse effect that will engulf the entire planet. Earth's temperature will start to rise dangerously, and at that time, our planet will also become a hell like Venus. Conditions on Earth will become inhospitable for life, almost all species living on the surface will be wiped out, and only those organisms that can survive above the clouds will remain. And in this way, nature will decide the future direction of life on Earth, but humans will already have been wiped out or will have left the planet. It was terrible to evaporate and disappear as steam. But what do you think about the fact that everything present on Earth will break apart and even its atoms will disappear from this world? Everything that ever existed on this surface will turn to ash. Every trace of everything will be found only in the soil. The conditions here will become like those on Mercury, the first planet in our solar system. Something like this will happen to Earth in the next 5 to 7 billion years. When hydrogen in the sun's core runs out, its outer layers will start to expand. As the sun expands, its outer layers will keep getting cooler. But on the contrary, the sun will become even more luminous as its core gets hotter and contracts, feeling the pressure of its own existence, but it won't be able to withstand that much pressure. Our sun will become about 100 times bigger than it is today, and its brightness will increase thousands of times compared to now. The Earth will be completely devastated, and it will slowly start moving away from its orbit. The sun will have already swallowed the nearby planets Mercury and Venus. However, this phase of burning helium will last a very long time, from millions to billions of years, but the sun will eventually die. With a huge explosion, its core will turn into a white dwarf, and its layers and outer surface will be blown into space with the blast. This will create a planetary nebula. If during this phase, that red giant keeps spinning and keeps orbiting a dim, small star, but still, this is not the end of the story, swallowed and rejected. Now, whether humans on Earth disappeared long ago, left it behind, or the Earth is no longer habitable. After that, the most precious thing left here, water, was attacked. Its oceans dried up, they boiled and turned into steam. After this, everything turned to ash. And finally, Earth will keep wandering in this solar system, which will remain a graveyard for billions of years. Cosmic rays will keep raining down on Earth for quadrillions of years. But our Earth might not end by colliding with another Earth at that time, or by absorbing it and erasing its existence. This universe is truly a terrifying place where violent things keep happening, and maybe that's just the law of the universe. An object called an ejection will pass close to our Earth and gravitationally throw the Earth out of this solar system. And the Earth will keep wandering like an uncontrollable planet in this infinite universe for eternity. One day it will merge into it, and that's how the story of Earth will end. This world will inevitably end one day, the place where we live, which we call Earth. If creation is a fact, then destruction is the ultimate fact. And here we know the future of Earth, but the near future is in our hands, within our reach. It's our choice as a species what we are doing, what we are becoming, and what we should do. Science can show us the future, but how to secure that future, how to live it with freedom and self-respect. We'll have to decide that so that we can represent ourselves well, better, and for a long time in this universe. This ticking clock is telling us that time is slipping out of our hands. We have only 24 hours. A massive asteroid will collide with our Earth. Its target is a very big city, Gania. The asteroid is rapidly heading towards Earth, and people on Earth are completely unaware of this impending danger, busy with their daily routines. The asteroid is 6 kilometers in diameter, and when it hits, the destruction it will cause will be catastrophic. But what will the situation be like on Earth in the last 24 hours before the impact, and how will governments respond to this sudden disaster? We are about to experience that panic, fear, and ultimate destruction up close. At the end of this video, ask yourself, if this scenario were real, how would you spend your last day? Asteroids have hit this Earth before, and it will happen again. But what if one was about to hit us in the next 24 hours? Let's start the countdown to the impact. 24 hours before the impact. It all started with a discovery. Astronomers had been trying to track a large asteroid for weeks, but the asteroid was hidden behind the moon. But suddenly one night, the radars catch that lurking asteroid. The asteroid has come so close that scientists were shocked to see it. What the calculations revealed was only destruction and terror. It is going to collide directly with our Earth in 24 hours. The asteroid is so big that its impact will cause destruction on a large scale. This asteroid is going to hit New York in America. Scientists immediately inform government agencies about this. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the European Space Agency, Indian Space Research Organization, China National Space Administration, and even the United Nations spring into action. But there are only 24 hours left until the collision. At this point, there is no time left to launch a mission to deflect or destroy it. Because the asteroid is already so close to Earth that such a mission won't be able to stop it, and a mission can't be launched in such a hurry either. The reality becomes clearer to everyone. This asteroid will definitely collide with Earth, and no one can stop it. Our technology, our intelligence all became useless. Within minutes of the asteroid impact being confirmed, this warning is delivered to all the world's leaders. For New York and for more than half of the world's population, these 24 hours are going to be the last 24 hours of their lives. That's why an emergency message is broadcast to the general public. The message was simple but also frightening. A city killer giant asteroid is going to collide with Earth in the next 24 hours. If you can evacuate, do it quickly, take shelter in a safe place, and be prepared for the impact. People were terrified after hearing this. They couldn't believe what they had just heard. How could something like this even happen? People were thinking that in this infinite universe, Earth is a very small target for an asteroid, and how could such a coincidence happen? But the truth was absolutely clear in front of everyone. And as this news kept spreading, an atmosphere of fear spread throughout the world. People going to the office, people stepping out of their homes, first called their families to confirm this. They started asking about their family's well-being. There was so little time that wherever people were outside their homes, they started rushing towards the city so that they could take their families and leave the city. The same message was broadcast to their people by other countries around the world as well. There was an atmosphere of panic everywhere. There was a strange silence in the sky, and people were getting scared seeing this calmness in the sky. The governments are organizing evacuations in an orderly manner, but it's not possible to save everyone in the impact zone. Here, everyone has to make quick decisions. Time is running out. Either leave that place and look for shelter somewhere far away, or watch the asteroid fall right before your eyes. 18 hours before the impact, countdowns are running everywhere. Governments around the world have sprung into action. Orders have been given to evacuate the city in the impact zone, but because of this, chaos, confusion, and lawlessness have spread everywhere in the city. The highways look like parking lots. Some people want to go home to get their loved ones, while others are fleeing the city. Millions of people are stuck on the highways. Public transportation is in terrible condition. The crowd is out of control. Millions of people are rushing towards the airports, but because the seats are full, the airports have also been shut down. Now it has become clear that there isn't enough time to evacuate everyone. This increases the anger among people. Everyone wants to save themselves and their families. Riots can also be seen in many places. The national military is deployed for the evacuation, but even they get overwhelmed after seeing the scale of this operation. Emergency services are used to their limits to maintain law and order in the city. But the fear is so intense that riots break out in some places. This time, the government warns people outside the impact zone. Anyone who is outside the impact zone should quickly move to a safe place. Look for underground bunkers, because after the impact, you will face the shockwave. It is not safe to stay in your homes because the shockwave will destroy everything. A tsunami warning has been issued for people living in coastal areas. The damage from this impact won't be limited to just the impact site, but the entire globe is going to be affected by it. Meanwhile, leaders around the world are appealing to people to remain calm. But the truth is, they all know that they can't do anything. Behind the scenes, politicians are holding urgent meetings with scientists and discussing the worst-case scenarios. They talk about allocating resources in the right direction, but now there's less than 18 hours left. Time is slipping away. The United States government wants to save a few people in its most secure bases, shelters, and bunkers, so that those people can be saved from this disaster who will give a new future to human civilization. In this way, experts from every field are selected. People are airlifted to special bunkers built to survive such disasters with strict instructions that only those people should be brought. People in India are scared after seeing this on television and now understand how serious the situation is. Serious conditions have spread throughout the country like wildfire, the most populous country in the world, leaving their homes for safety. They are all scared, they are all terrified because their clock is scaring them. Only 12 hours are left in the impact. Not just the people of New York and America, but the whole world has been gripped by this fear. As news outlets are covering this upcoming disaster, scientists are constantly making detailed predictions about what its impact could be, which places are safe. The projected impact is being shown on television. When it hits, it will release billions of times more energy than any atomic bomb ever detonated. People react to this disaster in different ways when they see it coming. Some people become religious, not wanting to accept that the world will be destroyed by the next day. They believe scientists or governments made a mistake. On the other hand, some people accept this coming disaster and start preparing to face the end. Social media becomes the digital diary of the last few hours of this world. People post their final goodbyes to their friends, relatives, and the whole world. Some people post to encourage others. If you look at it, the internet gets filled with this everywhere. The internet gets flooded with hashtags like Final Day and Asteroid Strike. People post all kinds of photos and messages, and some even live stream to show this terrible destruction to the whole world. The economic system completely collapses. People leave their jobs and businesses to spend the last moments of their lives with their loved ones. The stock market crashed immediately after the news broke, causing companies to go bankrupt in a day. Banks have defaulted, and reports of bank robberies are coming in from all over the world. As time passes across the entire earth, tensions start to build up. Some countries that are outside the impact zone come forward to provide shelter and help to people. But deep down, everyone knows that these are their final mo. Whether their lives or anyone else's are saved or not, they still have to make an effort. There are only 6 hours left until impact. The situation is getting even more intense now. Many people who couldn't get out of the city have accepted that there is no way to survive now. Those who couldn't evacuate from the impact zone are preparing themselves for the worst-case scenario of their lives. Families gather together in one place at home. They make confessions and forget their grievances, wanting to live those final moments to the fullest. They try to comfort each other. Some people go out not to stay inside their homes, but to watch the approaching asteroid from rooftops and open fields, with the hope that their final moments will be peaceful. At the same time, some people, even knowing that survival is difficult, still hide in underground shelters and basements. They try to encourage their families and get ready to face it. In this chaos, stories of kindness and compassion began to appear. Even neighbors who often fought and argued are now ready to face this disaster together. Now this world is no longer the same as it was about 18 hours ago. Because of this panic, people were seen breaking the law and looting in many places. People are afraid of how terrible things are going to get, and the police force seems weak in front of such a huge crowd. They can't do anything except watch this chaos unfold as people create havoc on the streets. Meanwhile, in the last few hours, religious leaders, philosophers, scientific thinkers, and prominent religious leaders. They present their views on life and debate the meaning and purpose of life. Debates also arise about the universe and the human civilization within it, where people want to remember their good and bad deeds and seek refuge in God. But for some people, this time is filled with fear, anxiety, and panic. Seeing death approach, they have become frantic. Scientists in labs all over the world are still working tirelessly. They are calculating. They are looking for some last-minute variable that could turn this whole game around, that could show them a ray of hope. Isn't it possible that at the last moment, the asteroid could change its path? Science was dashing everyone's hopes. The ray of hope was now starting to fade. There was only 1 hour left before the impact. Now that giant asteroid is clearly visible in the sky, it's very bright and rapidly heading towards Earth. Its size is increasing every minute. News channels' cameras start showing live footage of the approaching asteroid. Scientists explain the asteroid's progress in real time. They know this, but still they are fulfilling their duty. For humanity, so that mankind can rise again, they are fully prepared to sacrifice their lives. In this final hour, they are heading towards the impact site area. Near the impact site, people gather on rooftops, beaches, and open fields to watch the asteroid. They look at the sky, and some people, out of fear, hold each other's hands. The children are scared and anxious. Everyone is ready for a powerful explosion. People all over the world are watching the event live. Everyone knows that after the impact, a shockwave will come. The debris from the Earth and the asteroid will rain down from the sky like death, and it will block the whole world for months or even years. This will destroy the crops. Without sunlight, the entire ecosystem will collapse. The governments issue a final statement for the people in this last hour. In just a few minutes, we will face our greatest fear. The asteroid is about to hit. Don't panic, just hide wherever you can find a place. Don't waste time trying to get to a safe place. After the impact, more than half of us will be dead. We pray and seek God's blessings. Meanwhile, some people gather with their loved ones. They all wait to spend those final moments together. In that one moment, in those last few seconds of the explosion, the world collides and the sky fills with a blinding light. And then a powerful explosion so loud that people nearby must have lost consciousness and died as soon as they heard it. The people who were present at the impact site didn't even have time to think or react. The human brain's reaction time is about 100 to 120 milliseconds. Before their brains could process anything or think, they were instantly vaporized. This impact was so powerful that it destroyed everything in its path for hundreds of kilometers. Buildings collapsed, forests were completely wiped out, and there was nothing left on the ground except scenes of destruction. The shockwave was moving at supersonic speed, which means it was reaching distant cities even before the sound of the impact could be heard. There was no one left to witness this terrifying scene. Everyone had fallen victim to that asteroid. After a while, when the shockwave was about to hit those people, the entire sky was filled with dust and dirt. Fire spread through the forest, causing animals to burn and die. Humans could not withstand this destruction. All the people nearby were killed in this disaster. The impact was so powerful that the earth itself began to move forward, ready to swallow entire cities. The collision happened at one place, but its effects were seen all over the world. The sunlight couldn't reach the surface of the earth for years, causing the earth's temperature to drop drastically. Their future was hanging in the balance, and now they had to face an even bigger problem. Apart from global impact winters, surviving on this earth was going to be very difficult due to the collapse of the food chain and ecosystem. But the scenario we saw today, even though it seems like the plot of a science fiction movie, asteroid impact is a reality. Ask yourself this question: if you were in these circumstances, what would you do? A huge asteroid, the size of the Eiffel Tower, is rapidly heading towards our Earth, even faster than a bullet fired from a gun. And when it gets close to Earth, it will pass right through our satellites and come extremely close to our planet. Seriously, we're not talking about a scene from a sci-fi movie here. This is going to be a real event, not long from now. We're not talking about just any asteroid in the coming years. It has its own name, and maybe you should remember it once again: Apophis. But the danger we face from this asteroid, how much of a real threat will it actually be? Is this asteroid really going to collide with our Earth? And if yes, then how much damage is it actually going to cause us? Could this be like that great destruction which wiped out the dinosaurs from the Earth millions of years ago? And the most important question is, if we know so much about it, then what exactly are our scientists doing to save us from this massive disaster? Since the discovery of Apophis in 2004, it has kept astronomers on high alert till today. Named after the Egyptian god of chaos and destruction, this asteroid may look completely calm. But the reality is that we live in such a cosmic region where our very survival is considered our good fortune. We are surrounded by dangers that could wipe us out in an instant. But what if the threat of Apophis also turned out to be real? Then what? In today's video, we will learn in detail about this disaster that is coming in 2029. It is classified as a near-Earth object, that is, a near-Earth object. This massive space rock is about 370 meters in diameter. In terms of height, it is about as tall as the Eiffel Tower, and its weight is an astonishing 20 million tons. If you see something moving at a tremendous speed, that's Apophis. Since its discovery in 2004 by astronomers at the Kitt Peak National Observatory in Arizona, Apophis has been closely monitored. This asteroid is among the 7% of asteroids that have been studied and monitored most closely in history. and because of this, the entire scientific community was shaken. However, after that, many more studies were conducted on this asteroid. These studies ruled out the possibility of it colliding with Earth in 2029. But even after that, it still passes by Earth. Where even a slight change in its orbit can completely alter its path. Which means that in the future, the chances of it colliding with Earth could increase again. If we look at it, there are countless asteroids present in space right now, but among them, Apophis scares us the most, and that's because it has the potential to bring destruction to Earth. We can't predict its future trajectories, which is why we need to keep an eye on it. The 2029 close approach, mark this date on your calendars, April 13, 2029. Because on this day, Apophis will make a close approach to Earth. This approach will be extremely close. In the context of space, close means just barely passing by. And I really mean it, Apophis will pass by Earth at a distance of 31,000 kilometers that day. This distance is so small that it will pass through many satellites. This event will be so amazing that it will be visible from many parts of the world, including Europe, Africa, and the Americas. Watching a rocky fragment pass over your head will be thrilling but also scary. But the good news for us is that scientists have already ruled out an impact in 2029, but the bad news is that a close approach in 2029 is certain. And this event will alter Apophis's future orbit in such a way that predicting its orbit will be next to impossible. When this asteroid comes close to Earth, Earth's gravity will affect its close approaches. Although the chances of impact in 2029 are almost negligible, this asteroid will still remain on the radar of the scientific community. Because even if the chances are low, the situations that may arise from it make it necessary to study this asteroid from such a close distance. But somewhere, this close approach is a reminder for us of how fragile our existence is in the cosmos. What if Apophis actually hits Earth? Let's talk about the worst case scenario. If Apophis really collides with Earth, if this actually happens, the impact will release about 1,200 megatons of energy. For comparison, the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima was only able to release 15 kilotons of energy. This means that the impact of Apophis will be equal to the power of 80,000 Hiroshima bombs. If Apophis hits Earth, entire cities will be destroyed. Everything within 50 to 100 kilometers will be instantly destroyed. The eruptions will be visible. Not only that, if Apophis hits the ocean, a massive tsunami will be waiting to swallow the entire coastline. The shockwave from this collision will be felt in all the oceans of the Earth. The waves formed at the impact site will be hundreds of meters high, crashing into the coastline with unimaginable force. If we compare the magnitude of this event with historical impacts, but the destruction at the impact site and the surrounding areas will be so massive that we have neither seen it before nor even imagined it. The true scale of that devastation shakes us all. The impact it will have on the entire world will be extremely dangerous. the Earth's atmosphere will be filled with dust and debris which will completely block the sunlight from reaching the surface. The lack of sunlight could cause a short-term cooling effect on our planet. There will be only limited options left. Apart from food shortages and starvation, the damage to the environment, economy, and human life is unimaginable. How are we preparing? Thankfully, this is just the plot of a Hollywood movie. Hazardous near-Earth objects are being tracked most effectively so that we can develop better strategies to deal with them. National Aeronautics and Space Administration has been continuously tracking Apophis since its discovery and is working on advanced technology. Which will deflect this asteroid before it collides with Earth. Double Asteroid Redirect Test and Double Asteroid Redirect Test, a similar project in which a spacecraft is crashed to change the asteroid's orbit. Apart from National Aeronautics and Space Administration, other space agencies like the European Space Agency are also working on similar projects. Overall, we are aware of the damage and dangers caused by asteroids, and our goal is to protect our Earth from any cosmic threat. Of course, to truly be prepared for such dangers, governments and ordinary citizens will also have to be involved. How will governments react at that time, and what will the evacuation plans be? If no one is able to do anything, then where to go, where to hide, and how to bring life back on track after the impact, all of this should be part of our planning. Could we survive an Apophis impact? Honestly, just the thought of this asteroid colliding is terrifying. But we also need to understand that today we are more prepared than ever before to face such events. Our modern technology has given us the kind of power our ancestors could only dream of. But we also need to look at the other side of the coin. Let's be real, can we really face Apophis? There's no doubt that at the local level, the impact will be devastating. The entire surrounding area will be immediately destroyed, but even then, the loss of life and property will depend on where the asteroid impact actually happens. If it hits a desert or an empty place where not many people live, then of course, in that case, there won't be much damage. But if it hits right in the middle of a city, then early warning systems and evacuation plans will become extremely crucial. But if we know the impact site in advance, then we can manage things properly. But one thing is certain, rebuilding cities after the impact will be very difficult for us. It will take years, if not decades, for this. Many cities will completely disappear from the world map and the infrastructure will be destroyed, and the economic loss that will occur may never be compensated. But humanity has faced many catastrophic events before this. We heard about earthquakes. Even if the risk is very low, should we really be worried about Apophis? And on top of that, there's no chance of it hitting us, so the answer is yes, and I'll tell you why. Space is unpredictable. Astronomers have calculated that Apophis won't hit Earth in 2029. But the close approaches that will happen in the future, like in 2036 and after that, its orbit or trajectory can't be predicted. Even a slight change in its trajectory could change the entire future of the Earth. Apart from this, Apophis is not the only asteroid we should be worried about. Right now, there could be many such asteroids in space that are a direct threat to our Earth, but we haven't been able to find them yet. At the very least, Apophis can help us prepare to deal with such threats. In 2013, a meteor exploded in Chelyabinsk, Russia, which shocked everyone. After all, a meteor enters our atmosphere and no one even gets a hint about it. That meteor was much smaller than Apophis, but still, because of it, buildings in several cities were damaged and around 1,500 people were injured. Do you know what the worst part of this event was? We couldn't even detect that danger until it was too late. That's why it's important that we are always prepared to deal with any danger at any time. Apophis is not the kind of threat that will wipe out the entire Earth or humanity, but it is definitely a serious reminder for us that we are not at all immune to dangers coming from space. There's no way to know when or from where a disaster might strike. The good thing is that we are prepared whether it's Apophis or any other disaster. We humans have always understood the universe in this way. Friends, what are your thoughts on this? Be sure to let us know in the comments section. Along with that, be sure to check out Go Login as well. You'll find the link in the description and the pinned comment. Friends, we'll meet again soon with another new video like this. Until then, stay curious, be happy, and goodbye.